Korean rice farm. My parents don't even own their land. We go work for somebody else, and they don't give you money. They give you crop, whatever you work for the people. And my mom and dad, we're six children. I'm oldest daughter. I raised 2 sisters and two brothers. Education? There's no education. You don't have money, you don't go to school. It's the Korean system is first grade to the 6th grade, you can go to school. It's kind of very cheap to go to school. At the time when I was growing up, it was like 401 was $10 a year. American converted dollars is $10 a year. And you don't have money, you know, you only know how to make crops, so that's how we trade. And that's how we get things for buying things and doing things. It's when I was growing up. So you don't know about the currency part. You only know what the exchanging crops is. I'm going way back now, okay? and then, so with that is a normal. Until I started growing up and then I understand about the money, and my parents fight all the time about money.
Wow.
And so I couldn't go to school because my parents don't have enough money. From junior high school to the high school, your parents gotta have money to send you to the high school. All the way to high school. Your parents gotta pay for it. So you're from poor, you don't go to school. So guess what? Next thing you're lined up from girl from the country to go in the city and try to look for a job. And I was still with my uncles and aunts by the time I graduated, 6th grade. And I work in a factory. You know, I was working in a candy factory. I don't eat those kind of wafers because I work at a wafer factory.
Oh, okay.
Those creams, you smell all day long. Just like barbecue. I don't eat barbecue. Smell all day long, just those creams.
You don't eat barbecue?
No.
Really?
I've been barbecue since 2002.
I was going to ask you, all the food that you cook, how do you stay so small?
Because I don't eat it.
What do you eat?
I eat one whole avocado until I go home.
Really?
Then once in a while I do eat jambalaya. You know, a couple little medium cup of jambalaya. Then I run all day long until I go home, and then I fix the Korean food.
And you eat that?
I'll eat that.
Wow.
But meat, not that much meat, just a little bit. Or maybe
You eat a lot of rice?
rice and fish.
Okay.
And right now I learned about the avocado, and that's all I'm eating. I never ate in my life avocado again. Somebody says it's really good for you. And then my skin is so dry all the time. I have worse skin. Older you get, your body changes. So I don't have those nutrition in my body in me. So now I eat avocados, I take CoQ10s, anything good for my body. So I eat. But
do you do a lot of herbal teas?
No tea. My drink is coffee.
Really?
Yeah, coffee.
Wow.
Coffee
Okay.
and a water. You see me by the water, always sitting in the test. And that's my drink. I don't drink soda because I don't grow up with those things. I don't grow up with the dairy, any dairy products. So I don't eat that much of dairy. So I don't drink milk unless I have a bowl of cereal or something because it's got sweet taste to it, so I eat a little bit of that. But other than that, a lot of stuff I don't grow up with, so I don't have those are my habits. Like a greasy food type of, I don't have those habits.
That's interesting.
It's different, huh?
Where did your love for cooking come from?
My learning cook. Well, my mother can cook. She can make anything out of. Americans call that as grass outside. For us, it's green.
Okay.
Okay, we can pick any kind of wild plants. We can make a food out of it.
Okay.
There's so many plants out there, right down in the grass, and I can tell you what you can eat, what you cannot eat.
Wow.
So that's how my mother is good with it. So actually, my sisters can cook too, very well. I have 2 sisters. They cook just like my mother does. We can
And where
sew.
do they live?
I live there. Everybody's in Korea. I'm the only one away from
Okay.
home. So I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, all in Korea.
Okay.
They all married, and then they're doing very well. And speaking of my youngest brother, he's an animationist too. He's a cartoonist. Don't ask me where he got it from, but that's his occupation. He's a cartoonist.
Wow.
The last thing I heard, he was doing going to Australia, so going back and forth to doing the videos in Japan. So yeah.
Wow.
And then my youngest sisters, her husband's architect.
Oh, okay. Buildings or?
Yeah, building.
Okay. Wow.
They're doing very well now, successful, you know, too. But I feel bad for my parents. They had to live that way and, you know, had to grow up. Just me and my older brother. I have older brother. We're 6 years age difference, so him and I the only one don't have education.
But you're doing good.
Considering I didn't
Considering
have,
where
yeah,
you
consider
came
where I
from.
came from, didn't speak any English when I came to U.S. My ex taught me everything I need to know, so he got a lot of credits for it. And he didn't want to be his wife to be not knowing nothing, so he always correct my English, always. And when I first brought me to U.S., first thing he took me to shopping center, supermarket. You buy this, you buy this, you buy that. Don't go in this aisle because we don't need it.
So when did you feel most comfortable with speaking the English language? I mean, when did you feel like you were ready to just hold everyday conversation?
Everyday conversation was started back in actually, I was in 1980. And when we were stationed in Angeles, Washington D.C. He was Air Force, so that's when I started working with a little bit of working here and talking with the conversation with people. But I wasn't afraid to talk to neighbors. See, a lot of Asian people are afraid to talk to neighbors. The more I talk to American people, I know more I'm gonna learn. So my advantage is either you go out there and you talk to them and ask them if you don't know. Or keep your mouth shut and just stay home and be at homebound. And then I'm not about to do that. I would never, even I wasn't speaking English, I always an outdoor person. Because you live in the country, you got to. I live in front of it, our house, when I was growing up, was a rice paddy. Backside of the house is all nothing but the coast. So either I go to coast or go to rice paddy. So I'm always outgoing. Never actually homebody.
Okay.
But I don't like to visit too many people at their home. I'm always outdoor. I don't know if that's a good or bad. I have no idea. But so I can't just stay home. I'm in the house, give me time to clean the house, do my things at chores that need to be done. I'm outside doing something. Always. Either hammer, drill, I don't care what it is, I still do it. So that keeps me going. But the speaking English part, about 1980. That's when I was really comfortable. I can talk to people. But I do ask in between, what's the meaning of this? I do know the words, but I don't know the meaning of it. And that's when I started being added, and then back in '82, then I got into AFES, Army and Air Force Exchange. I was at Japan at the time. And I was working with them and all my bosses are Japanese, so I don't speak Japanese, so I had to speak English with all the employees and my boss and everybody else.
So when you started with AFES, did you start in the kitchen?
Yeah, I started with in the kitchen. I was making airplane food. We had called it airline catering, and then AFES, Air Force Base, they had it on the base because every week we have two big jumbo, American Airline or Transamerica, or it's an old airport. The jet comes in and brings all the military folks, and they landed on the base. So AFES, we had to make their 560 people food to ship it back to the States. So they landed in Yokota, Japan, and then they go to Ulsan Air Base in Korea. Then they turn around and come back and stop again and refuel, and then refueled all the food, and I went back. So I started in the kitchen 19 hours a week, $3.99 an hour.
Wow.
And 1 year after that, they promoted me as a cook supervisor. Here I am, I'm cooking for the school kids. So I'm very familiar with the school industry, that area too.
Wow.
And next thing I know, I'm opening 2 more on one base. So we had middle school and high school had a cafeteria, and we had 2 elementary schools. So
So did you find that your supervisors found it easy to give you more responsibility?
He did. He trusts me for some reason. And he knew I was eager to learn. But he knew I was good with a knife. My father was a butcher when I was growing up. So we used to kill the pigs and stuff and sell the meat. When my parents are not home, I do all the selling, cut the meats and put it on the scales. That's why I'm so good with the knife.
Wow.
And a Asian, especially Korean type of food. When I was growing up, we don't have those fancy machines to shred things. So everything has to be everything by hand chop, hand shred, hand chop. So you're big enough to walk, you learn how to use a knife.
Wow.
So that's how I learned about cooking part and chopping part. And so it's a little bit of history behind all that. Yeah.
Wow.
So when you decided that you wanted to open this place here, what was the process in terms of you putting your menu together? I mean, what did you do? To put
Well,
your menu
I had older menu from Coulter's Barbecue on base, and barbecue place was closed. So I went in there. My supervisor, previous supervisor, he was a manager now. I said, "Give me that menu board if you ain't gonna use it." So he gave it to me. So I kind of have to adapt it a little bit with that, and I still remember the prices and all that too. So.
Really?